Hello, this is Jeff Out Gilbert, and I want to welcome you to my Facebook Live. And tonight we're going to talk about money mindset, Brian Carruthers' awesome book, and some other things, and his philosophies. So let me get him. And welcome a few people. Brian, tell me you're coming from your cell phone. There he is. All right. Man, you still looking good.
Hey, good to see you,
That's what marriage does to you, right?
That's what happens.
How's your, you have one child together?
We have one who's 13 months, and we've got another one in the oven.
All right, in the oven. Okay.
I'm going to be an old man by the time my kids graduate high school.
Well, that's what I said when I married Michelle. She had a 5-year-old. We had a baby together. So Arthur's 9 and I'm 62. So I'll be doing this till I drop. So
Hey, you and me too, brother. Both of us.
It's lovely. I really enjoy it, and I just came back from their piano recital, both of them, both of our sons. They did great tonight, and they're on their way back. So Arthur likes to jump in on my lives. You know, he likes to steal the show and promote his YouTube channel.
There you go.
So we're gonna give some shout outs here. Hey, Michael from Texas, nice to see you. Carlos, Margaret from Florida, good to see you. Billy from Minnesota, Lokito from Jakarta, Indonesia. What's up, man? Anna, nice to see you. Priscilla Smith from the state of Maine. Good to see you. I always like to see our Mainers. Angel Fletcher, what are you doing, girl? Good to see you. That's a sweetheart right there. Angel. Good to see you. Yeah, we love Angel, man. She's awesome. Charles from Georgia, nice to see you. Francis Stapleton from Florida, nice to see you. Oh, Juan. Hey, John Perez from Miami, nice to see you. Tiffany from Georgia. Thomas Bowman, Ray Higdon's right-hand man. What can I say? You know, good to see you, Thomas. Hey, you too, Angel. Nice to see you. Good to see you. And Sharon Adcock from Missouri, and Kanina Johnson, nice to see you. Brian from Chicago, what's up, man? And Brooke.
Good name, Brian. Good name.
Yeah, Brooke Ferguson, nice to see you, boy. She's awesome. Young girl, she's killing it in Facebook Lives. And Jim, nice to see you as well. Good, absolutely. George from New York City. He's an uptown guy. Good to see you, George. And Delia, nice to see you. Jesus, nice to see you. Good to see all of you guys. So we're going to get into it. So it's so great I met Brian, 3 years ago at GoPro?
Yes, sir.
I think that's when it was. And and he was so kind to give me a copy of his book, Money Mindset. And so I read it on the plane flying back home. And I felt terrible. Because everything he said you need to do, I wasn't doing. So anyway, but it helped me get the right mindset on what I need to be doing, and that helped. I appreciate that. I do. So here's the thing. First of all, you started in network marketing part-time. I think you were in real estate, weren't you?
Yep.
And so when did you get started in network marketing, and at what point did you go full-time?
94, my first year. I was with a telecom company for 3.5 years. Made very little money, $1,100, my biggest month after 3.5 years. Then I went over to a different company in the personal development space for a year. And then I wound up in the company I'm in right now. So I spent 19 years full-time in my business I'm in now. Started off part-time, but my first month made $11,400 and decided to walk away from real estate and haven't looked back.
Okay, so full-time.
19 years. 19
years, okay. And I've been 20 years in the company I'm in, so we have something very much in common.
Very unique.
Yeah, and that's really, isn't that true? It's so unusual to find people like us. Because when I go to GoPro or I go to Ray Higdon's events or I go to the ANMP, like we're going to go this month, all these people I talk to, it's like, yeah, I've been in my company a month, I've been in my company a year, but you don't find many people like us that have been in a company, for 19, 20 years.
And what's interesting about that is everybody has the chance to do it. They just choose not to.
Now, why is that? Why? I'd like your opinion on that. Why do you think that is? Why do they jump around?
Sometimes people don't jump on purpose from a standpoint that sometimes they didn't know how to evaluate the company before they got in, and the company fails on them, or the company makes some wrong moves and everything's falling apart, and so they're trying to jump before the ship goes underwater. I've seen all kinds of reasons. I feel like people need to be a lot more diligent in picking their company they're going to get into business with from the get-go. Warren Buffett always says, and everybody should have a lot of respect for Warren Buffett, whether they appreciate his investing style or not. He obviously has proven that he knows how to invest. He said the time to be anxious about your investment choice, the stock you're picking, is before you buy the stock. So you can be anxious and be nervous about it before you buy it, but once you buy it, then hold on to your decision and ride it out, right? So you don't buy the stock and then start deciding after that, hey, should I keep it or not? No, you make that decision before you buy it, and then you hold it for the next 5, 10 years, whatever your time horizon is. That's the way network marketing should be. It shouldn't be just going for the next latest, greatest new invention of a company just because it's hot and new. I mean, that's the shiny object syndrome, and that's like saying, well, I'm going to trade in my wife every 3 years. Well, yes, marriages fail. Okay, people do split up. I get that. But it shouldn't be a habit where you just trade them in every 2 or 3 years, like a lease on a car.
See, I was thinking about that today. And Garrett asked me to speak about this at the ANMP because he says there's not too many people been in a company 20 years. So I really want you to hone in on that, how to build legacy leadership in a company. And because I think that all these people that do jump and hop or whatever, it's not, even though what you said is true, because you described me in my first 10 years. No, my first 10 companies, really. I always picked the wrong ones. And so I developed a criteria of what to look for. But a lot of these people are in good companies and they're hopping.
Well, I think that's why we're having this conversation about money mindset tonight, because if people are doing the right thing with the money they're making in whatever company that they're in, then they won't have to make decisions based on desperate finances. They can make decisions based on other more important criteria. So I think regardless of what company's anybody's in right now, stay with the company. Whoever you guys are watching right now, if you guys are with Jeff, stay with Jeff. If you're watching from outside and just jumped on this live, wherever you are, stay where you are and learn how to do the right thing with the money that you're making. I mean, you can become a millionaire making part-time money in network marketing. But less than $1,000 a month, you can become a millionaire if you do the right things with that money instead of blowing it.
This is where I wanted to go with the conversation, and then I want to talk to you about your app. I did go to your app. Okay, so and I'm going to get your app. I didn't have enough time before the call to do it because I just came back from a piano recital. Yeah, money mindset. Okay, so one thing I love about you're a very unusual person. I mean, you are a very different networker. You're not your typical, networker. You really aren't. I got a lot of deep respect for you. I think you've been very responsible with your money that you've made in network marketing. You've been very shrewd. You had parents that taught you financial responsibility. That was a great help. So the thing about it is, a lot of people think, well, let me back up. We hear this expression about when people find out what we do and they say, oh yeah, very few people make it in something like that. And when they say that, I said, would you define make it? And I'll help them if they're struggling with it. I mean, you mean like get rich, get wealthy? And yeah, I mean that. Okay. Now, here's where, I mean, because a lot of networkers really, they like to flash the stories, the $20,000, the $50,000, the $100,000 a month earner. Yeah, you get in, you can make that kind of money. But really, you have a different approach that I saw in the past it just resonated with me. And that was, if a person is even making $700 how they can become wealthy. They don't have to be a 20 or 50, $100,000 earner to become a millionaire. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. A small percentage of people will make 6 figures or 7 figures in network marketing. Everybody has it available to them, but a small percentage are going to be willing to go make the sacrifices to do the work consistently, long term, to develop that kind of a network marketing income. It's available to all of us. Some of us do it, some of us don't. But anybody can build a part-time network marketing business, 3 to 5 hours a week, and generate an extra $600 a month. I'm going to give you an example out of, you were talking about the book here. On
Right.
page, let me see where it is.
Yes, because that really resonated with me when I read that on the plane coming home 3 years ago.
Yeah, so on page 44 here, it's basically the compound effect of putting your money to work. There's a lot that is covered in this book that, frankly, 99% of people, network marketers or even people not in our industry, just don't understand the game of money. I'm not suggesting everybody needs to go out and read the Atlas Shrugged size Tony Robbins book, 800 pages on money master the game. You guys can read that if you want to. I try to. I mean, I love the topic. It's a hard read to get through all that. This is a simple little thing because there's certain little things we got to understand. So if people understand why they're getting involved in a network marketing business in the first place, meaning their why is they want to get out of debt, they want more time with their kids, they want to be able to build up X amount of money in their bank account to be able to retire on whatever. If their reasons for doing this is for wealth building versus just making extra money to be able to go out and service more debt or go below the money, then there's the difference in mindset is going to be a difference in methodology or the philosophy is going to drive what they're going to do. So, for example, if you're making, if your bills are $5,000 a month and you're making $6,000 a month in total income in your household, you make the 6, you spend the 5, and the other 1,000 is extra, so you go blow it. That's because that's what people do. If they have extra money, they go spend it. They take their kids out to a vacation, they go out to nice dinners, they go get a new whatever. But if your goal from the get-go is to build your wealth, to actually, and by the way, wealth is different than rich or fancy or, rich is an adjective, that you've got a life filled with nice things. That's rich. But I'm talking about wealth is a measurement of time. So I'll give you an example. If your cost of living is $5,000 a month and you've got $100,000 in the bank, that means if you lost your form of income and you had no more money coming in, you could last 20 months until you're homeless in the street. Do you feel wealthy? Probably not. You probably feel scared. But if you've got, instead of $100,000, if you have 10 million in the bank, so you could last for 2,000 months if your income went away, you probably feel wealthy. So when I say wealth, I'm not talking about being extravagant and flying around on private jets and buying Louis Vuitton bags every other week. That's not what I'm talking about. That stuff annoys me, okay? I want to feel wealthy. I want to feel people, I like Brendan Burchard and what he teaches, and there's certain human drives. And one of the basic human drives that is important to all of us is the drive for control. We all want to feel in control. When we're not in control, meaning we don't have enough money to pay bills or we're worried about not having money to be able to retire, we feel out of control, and that causes anxiety and stress and heart attacks, and relationships fail because of fighting over finances and worries. So I want people to build wealth. So go back to my example here. If you just build a network marketing business part-time, a few hours a week, and you get it to $600 a month. Now, I don't care what company that anybody's in. Any company, somebody should be able to make $600 a week part-time. Is that maybe not the first week, but after, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, after a few months, you'll get it up to that, right? If you just do the basic fundamentals of the business. So if you're doing $600 a month and you're not spending that money, you're living off your job income. Again, you're working full-time, you got a part-time side, network marketing business. If you make $600 from your network marketing business on the side, and instead of blowing it, you invest it. If you just put it into like a VOO, an S&P index fund, the S&P index has returned 10% annually over the last 40 years on average. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's a little less, but average is over 10%. Compounded at 10% return every year. In 10 years, that $600 a month is going to be $124,000. In 20 years, $460,000. In 30 years, $1.36 million. And in 40 years, $3.8 million. So let's say you don't have 40 years. Let's say you're a 40-year-old person or a 30-year-old person listening to this message right now. That's, $600 a month. You're talking about $1.3 million. Could you retire on $1.3 million? Barely, but you could. But what if you say, okay, well, I need more than that. Okay, well, all right, let's say you get your business up to $1,500 a month. $1,500 a month in 10 years, it's $310,000. 20 years, $1.1 million. 30 years, $3.4 million. 40 years, $9.5 million. So it's discipline in not spending the money, paying yourself first, putting into your private separate bank account. One of the things I teach everybody to do is have two bank accounts, one you live out of and one you invest for your future. So you take that money, pay yourself first automatically, 10% off of every dollar you make immediately goes into that investment account, and you put it into some safe stuff. Don't go out there and get all, you want to go invest in cryptocurrency? That's not what this is for. That's from your, if you want to have a gambling fund and to bet on penny stocks or cryptos or other stuff, nothing wrong with that stuff. You can make money in all that stuff. Good for you. But I'm talking about like something that's proven for the last 50 years. Like put it in an S&P index where it just rolls. I mean, they just said a study last month where Warren Buffett, not a study, but he actually reported his quarterly earnings. And they weren't as good as he would have liked, but the S&P beat Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett didn't even do better than the S&P index fund. And Warren Buffett has to manage his funds actively, like manage all his portfolio. If you just put it in the S&P index, you don't have to do anything because the index is just a compilation of companies. They're going to do what they're going to do. You don't have to manage it. Put your money in and forget about it. 20 years from now, it will be bigger than it is today.
And did you read Anthony Robbins' book, Unshakable?
Yes.
Okay, he talks about index funds and things like that. What's your opinion on all that?
You find a no-load index fund where you're not paying a bunch of points to a stockbroker for trading or managing your money. I mean, why give somebody a percentage or a point or two for them to manage your money when most money managers are not going to beat the S&P index where you can go get into one of these like the Vanguard VOO for nothing?
Mm. So let's just say that I just signed up in a network marketing company and I'm generating $600 a month. Do I just invest on my own is that what I do? Yeah.
Hey, I'm not here to give investment advice. Okay.
Sure. So I know.
I don't want anybody to act on what I say. And if you make money, you love me. And if you lose money, you're trying to come after me to repair you. But here's the thing. If you go get a TD Ameritrade or a E-Trade account, and then you just go and say, okay, well, the Vanguard S&P Index Fund, VOO, you can just go buy it. Just you want to go get 5 shares of it, 100 shares of it, or whatever. Well, I forget what it's trading at right now, but it's as simple as that. It's right. It's an exchange traded fund where you just go buy it and just let it sit in your account and let it do its thing.
That's it. Just leave it alone.
Leave it alone.
Leave it alone. I love this approach. I love this. What I love about this approach is it really is such a good answer to the person that very few people make it in something like that. Because really, if everybody did what you said.
Again, your question that you asked them is define make it, because we have so much hype in our industry that most people's initial exposure to our industry is somebody pitching them on a get rich quick scheme where they're going to make all this money. And that's not the way it works. I mean, most people don't make gobs of money right away. I mean, it took me 4.5 years before I found my opportunity where I am now. And with 4.5 years of growth curve behind me, yes, in my current company, my first year I made $248,000, but there's still a story behind the story. I still had to learn what I learned before then, applied it in the right company that when it came along, and things, can pop. But our industry, as you know, if you build a massive organization, you're massively successful because you've helped a lot of people. The business model is about a lot of people each doing a little bit of work.
Right.
Success is, if you want to make a 7-figure income like the two of us do, you help a lot of people, part-timers, doing a little effort each month and making some great part-time money. Now, if you have a part-timer who attracts a bunch of other part-timers under them that are successful part-timers, then that person makes full-time money. They don't need a job anymore. Now you can just graduate somebody into full-time because they have enough part-time success stories. We need to celebrate all wins. So sometimes our industry just brushes people off who are making $600 a month. Oh, they're no hero. They're not doing much. They should work harder. Now, guess what? they're on a track to become a millionaire in the next 30 years if they just do what they're doing now. Much
Mm-hmm.
less if they go out and find 10 people on their team that they can help them make $600 a month. And now they're making $6,000 a month as an upline. And if they invested $6,000, I don't even have a chart in the book for that, but if you invested $6,000 a month, I mean, it doesn't take long to become a millionaire at $6,000 a month compounded at 10%.
Wow, that's so powerful. I love it.
I'm giving
I
myself
really love
goosebumps
it.
right now.
Oh, it's awesome. It's awesome. So now, so Money Mindset, that's on Amazon, right?
It is. They get it at Amazon, they get it at BrianCarruthers.com. And one thing I will say that any networker that's watching this right now, I think that this is probably the most important. I've written 3 books, and a lot of people know the Building an Empire book because it's a how-to manual on how to build a network marketing organization. But that book doesn't matter. The how-tos, how to recruit, how to build a huge team, how to motivate people, all that kind of stuff doesn't matter if you're just going to go blow the money that you make from it anyway. You'll still be at the end of the year just as broke or as struggling as you are today if you don't do the right things. You have to have the plan for your money before you make the money. I wrote that book because I've got friends in the industry that were making 6-figure incomes, multiple 6-figure incomes, and at the end of every year, they were no better off financially, and it broke my heart.
Absolutely. I've got a very good friend, been in a company 20 years, and he's probably made about 20 million, and he's just as broke now as the day he joined.
It's sad.
And his philosophy is spend it so I don't have to pay taxes on it.
And that's the same philosophy that I hear some prospects tell me, that I don't want to make any more money because I don't want to have to pay more taxes. And I'm like, are you an absolute buffoon? But whatever.
That's another subject, right?
Yeah.
So here's, I listened to your video on your app. Tell us about your app.
So in the industry, we have a saying, third party is always better than first party. First party is you're explaining your opportunity, your company information with your own mouth. And that might work if you're a really smooth talker, but that don't do what works, do what duplicates. So even if I could go out there and put a sign on my Bentley, hey, call me to make money, and somebody calls me and I recruit them, guess what? They can't duplicate that. So why would I ever do it? So third party means you're using a company video, or you're putting them on a 3-way call with your upline so a third party person can answer their questions and close them for you. That's what we are all taught. That's third party. What I believe is that true third party is your prospects are hearing from somebody that's not even associated with your company. Like if Forbes magazine came out with an article about network marketing or about why people need to start a home-based business or something like that, and I put that article in a prospect's hands, I like to call it a suspect. They're a suspect until they actually become genuinely interested in my company. Now they're a prospect for my company. So we can actually, what if there was a way, for example, let's see if I can find one. A second here.
Sure. Take your time.
So I wrote this book, making my first 10 million, after Eric Worre 6 years ago had me come speak at the GoPro event. I've spoken all the last 6 years in a row. Because when I went there and he wanted me to talk about, I spent an hour on stage that day at that GoPro event on cold market recruiting. He'll tell you I don't know anybody who's done more than I have with personal recruiting, especially in the cold market. As of now, I've done 1,600 personal recruits, so I'm good at that. But when I was there, he said, Brian, you ought to write a book. Give something to the industry that can help everybody learn to do what you're doing. So this book I wrote because I had talked to a prospect who was a 51-year-old man, married with kids. His marriage was failing because they were struggling financially. He was working all the time and they were still upside down. His kids never saw him. The guy was absolutely in a bad mental place. I let him talk for almost 15 minutes straight, explaining how bad his life is. And I said, well, I'm so glad that we got a chance to connect, because I can be that godsend for your life. If you'll let me, I will take you under my wing and I'll help you to get this business started. And we're going to get some extra cash flow coming in. We're going to ramp it up so that you can get more time with your kids and you can get your finances in order, so you and your relationship can repair. And he said, hey, look, I appreciate your offer, but I'm going to pass. And I hung up the phone, and it's one of the things, part of you just wants to kind of put your head through the wall, like what in the world? And part of you, like your heart breaks for somebody who's lost, and you throw them a life preserver and they bat it away. And so I went to type him an email. I started typing this email talking about, repelling money versus attracting money. And he's repelling money. I was trying to help him understand that he's working at a job, trading his time for money on a linear basis. He needs to get some leveraged income coming in. He needs to have some residual passive income coming in as well. And so that email, I sent it to him. I'm like, man, that was pretty darn good. I don't know if it's going to get him to turn his attention around or not. But I opened that email back up, and I started putting more flesh on the skeleton, and it became this book. I wrote it in that one night. This book is now sold over 500,000 copies, and it's designed as a third party, a true third party, because whether it's Jeff as you or it's Bob in another company that can give this book to a prospect to open up their door of receptivity on why they need to start a home-based business and it also completely annihilates the network marketing as a pyramid scheme objection, because I talk about how I used to think that in the book. So here's the thing. People have asked me for years now, hey, can you please give us a digital version of that we can send out to our prospects, so we don't have to buy them and have them shipped to us, and then we have to put them in the mail with postage and all that, and wait days for the post office to get it there. Internationally, it makes it even worse than that.
Oh, that's right.
So, can you just give us a digital version? So I've always wanted to do it. And so 6 months ago, I pulled the trigger and said, all right, we're going to put an app together so people can actually take that book, send it via a digital link, trackable. So if I sent you that book, Jeff, tonight, as soon as you open it up and start reading it, I'm going to get an alert on my phone or my Apple Watch that says Jeff is actually reading my book. So I can strike while the iron's hot. I can call you up about 15 minutes later, is all it takes to read it, and say, hey, what did you like best about the book? And I can engage a conversation. So I also had a videographer that does our company conventions come to my house 3 months ago, and we recorded 3, again, true third-party videos. So it's not me telling your company's pitch for you. I have nothing to do with anybody's company, but it's me being a best-selling author of these 3 books. And
I love it.
Saying, here's why you need to become an entrepreneur. Here's another video. Here's the power of a part-time business. Like Jim Rohn says, you work hard all day at your job to earn a living, but you should be working spare time, nights or weekends, building your fortune. In that particular video, I say, look, if you want to retire at 65 and it's you and your spouse and you want to eat 3 $7 meals a day, every day of the year, 365 days a year, and you plan on living 20 more years, just do the math. You're going to need to have $306,000 cash in the bank just for you and your honey to eat 3 $7 meals a day. That's not including going out for a real meal. It's not including putting gas in your tank, keeping lights on at your house, Christmas present for the grandkids. I mean, that's just 3 $7 Subway sandwiches a day. And I ask people in the video, so look at your bank account right now. Where does your bank account balance relate? How does it, is there a disconnect? Are you anywhere close to the $306,000 saved up just to be able to have those three meals a day? And if you don't have the financial balance that you think you should have at this point in your life, then guess what? What you're doing right now, relying on your paycheck from a job, if you keep on doing what you're doing, you're going to keep on getting what you're getting. You need a plan B, a side business where you can generate some extra cash flow that you can actually put into investments so that you can retire. And some people might retire early, but half of Americans are never going to retire. The study a couple of years ago, half of America will not be able to retire. They will work until they die. So anyway, I got these different videos that you can send out. They're trackable and so forth. But here's what's really cool. And I can't wait for you to get the app later and go through it. You're going to love some of the stuff. I'm super pumped about it. But the best thing is there's a secret weapon for closing a product. I know everybody hates the word closing, whatever you want to call it. But let's call it closing.
That's okay. We understand what you mean, though.
Some people say you're opening. Okay, you're opening.
No. We have to use that word. Otherwise, people don't know what we're talking about.
Right. So if I'm sitting with you, Jeff, and you're a prospect, we're at a coffee shop, and I show you my opportunity, but you're just not pulling the trigger. I can sense that you're not ready to sign and get started. I'm going to say, hey, Jeff, one more thing. Let me show you one more thing. I feel like Steve Jobs here. I pull out my phone. I open the app. I push on the tax savings estimator. It pulls up a little screen, and I'm going to ask you to fill in these answers to these 10 questions. First one, about how many miles a month you drive in your car where you might actually have a business appointment. I put that number in, maybe it's 100 miles a month. About how much of your home square footage would be used for a home office if you actually had a home-based business. You might say, well, 14%. About how much money would you be spending in hotel and airfare expenses? How much would you be spending on meals and entertainment? What's your cell phone bill? What's your internet bill each month? And then you would go down to the bottom after you answer those 10, you pick your tax bracket. Let's say not you, but the average person, let's say it's 28%. And then you push a button, and it's going to tell you right there at the bottom how much money you'd be saving in taxes had you only had a home-based business last year. And the average person seeing like 4,000, 5,000, 6,200. And look, I say, look, it's only whatever, a couple $100 to start this business right now. And look how much money you're going to save because you're now in this kind of a business for yourself from home. How in the world would you tell me no? It's the ultimate closing tool.
Is that updated with the new U.S. tax laws now?
Well, it's not an actual. Well, yes and no. I mean, there are guesstimations. They're going to put in guesstimations just based on the tax code the way it is right now. But obviously, if they change from 56 cents to 60 cents or 50 cents per mile, so it's just an estimator. So it's not going to give you your actual tax number.
But anyway, that's an awesome tool.
Yeah, and you can send it as a trackable link.
Yeah.
So if you're in California and I'm in Virginia, I can send that link to you. You actually fill it in, and it's going to notify me on my watch or my phone that says Jeff just filled out the calculator. So I'm going to call you up and say, hey Jeff, see that number? What number did they give you? $4,700. Let's get you started right now. We're going to start saving you money right away.
That is so awesome. So what I love about that app is how many of your books is on that app?
Just the prospecting book is on the app, the Making My First 10 Million. I also put a whole bunch of training content on there. I did the 90-day run.
Okay. All right.
Facebook. I did the money mindset audio programs on there.
Okay. And then you have what, 3 videos or more?
There's 3 prospect videos on there. There's a video I put on there that I professionally produced, talking about how I thought about quitting many times.
Yeah, I was going to ask you to comment on that. It was called, I'm thinking about quitting. What was the video called?
It's thinking about quitting, and the reason for that is, as an upline leader, your team members are kind of deaf to you at a certain point. If you call and try to talk them off the ledge, if they're thinking about just kind of bailing out of the business, if they got to that point and you've been their upline all along, you're probably not going to have a whole lot more extra things to say to them. You've already tried to do your best. But if you sent them a video of me in cameras saying, hey, look, I've been through the ups and downs, and I'm going to tell you something. I had several times where at the beginning, I just, even along the way, not even at the beginning, I felt like quitting. Frankly, I quit. But when I basically called to tell my upline that I was quitting, because I at least had enough courtesy to do that, it led to a conversation where my upline reminded me why I started in the first place. And it wasn't because that leg just quit on me. It wasn't because that prospect, no-showed me. The things that make us all get so frustrated that we want to quit. He said, those things weren't why you started. Why did you want to start this in the first place? I'm like, well, I wanted to build up enough of a cash flow so I can, get out of real estate and eventually have a wife and kids. And I want to be able to work from home, and I want to build my wealth. He goes, well, that's still all available for you. I mean, that's why you're starting this. That's why you're going to see it through to the end, right? I'm like, well, yeah, it makes sense. So I almost quit, and I didn't, because my upline was able to get me to revert back to remembering my why. And so what I ask you is, why did you start your business? I had my why, and I saw it through. I almost quit, didn't quit. Now I've made $20 million, and all my why has been accomplished. You got your frustrations right now. You think, is it worth it or not? Believe me, your why is worth it. And you're going to stay with it. You're going to get with your upline, your top leader in your upline right now. You're going to say, look, I want to recommit. Will you lock arms with me? Let's go to work. And that's what that video says. And I, as a third-party expert author of these 3 books and somebody in the industry who's been through it all, I can say that to your downline to maybe get through to them when maybe they're not hearing it from you. That's what that video is designed to do. That's
right. And, they've known us for years, so they quit listening to us.
Yep. A prophet's never heard in their own backyard, especially after a few months.
Right. That's right. And what I like that you're able to, email the book to somebody.
Yep.
And so because, this is the digital age, and like my organization is in 56 countries around the world. So it's like when I talk to people, it's nice to be able to do that. Here, read this. take a look at this. Let's talk tomorrow or tonight, later tonight, whatever, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can email it or you can text it. And you can throw them in the email campaign. We're getting ready to launch also a texting campaign, so it'll just automatically go out with the book and the videos for you. There's a tax deductor in there, so it's a $200
There's also
program.
what, Facebook, Instagram ads?
Yeah, we've got
images.
I've got a couple hundred ready to go images for social media. So if you want to build a brand, you want to build a good following and have a good presence on social media, but you're not good at going out and buying the rights to these pictures and then putting the good quotes and different inspiring messages on there, just go grab them off the app and go throw it on there. I mean, you got enough to last you for months. So I'm going to keep adding more.
That's awesome. And so the app can be downloaded from Apple, is it?
Well, you first go to empirebuilderspro.com, empirebuilderspro.com. You go there first and you buy it. It's $19.95 on a monthly basis to have the app going, to use all the different, everything that's in there. And then after you've bought it, then you go to the Apple App Store or Google Play, download the app to your phone, take the login information that you got from me, and then you activate it and you're good to go. And by the way, you know, for what it's worth, you know,
I'm going to try to put that link in while we're talking.
Sure, empirebuilderspro.com. So, you know, here's the thing. I'm in the trenches with everybody. Now, I've been out there, you know, working with a lot of people in a lot of different companies. It's just something I just really, really thrive on it. It's fun. I'm doing monthly podcasts, trainings every single month that'll go in the app. And I'm also doing a monthly 2-hour Q&A session every month. For anybody who's an app subscriber, they can just jump on the Zoom and we'll get on there just like you and I are on here right now, and they can just fire away questions about anything network marketing related, money mindset related, anything I can help people, you know.
I'm gonna put the link in now.
Also, anybody who's an app subscriber, they can just jump on the Zoom and we'll get on there just like you and I.
Okay, good. I just copied and pasted your message. You know, on
awesome.
your link. That is so awesome.
You know,
I
Jeff,
love it. And it's $20 a month, and then $200 or $195 or something for a year.
If they pay $197 for the year, they're basically getting 2 months free, and they're getting my time management program called Time Masters, which is a time management course for network marketers. You know, one of the biggest struggles that anybody in network marketing finds, especially the part-timers, is how do I find time to build a business? Well, I give them an exact roadmap on where to find their time and what to do with that limited time to get the most productivity out of themselves for their network marketing business. And then full-timers also have an equal challenge, because now that they don't have a job, you know, it's very easy to fall into a trap thinking, oh, I don't have a job, and they just go out and play golf and goof around. So time management, you know, we allocate our time to whatever is most important to us. So if anybody on our team says, well, I just don't have time to build my business, and that's not true. You have time, but you're allocating it toward other things. Yeah, whether it be to your kids because they're worth it, to your church because it's worth it, to your spouse because it's worth it, to TV because you like it. We all have 24 hours. So Jeff, if you've allocated your time over the years to build up a $1 million a year income like you have, you put priority on that and you allocated time accordingly. And so Time Masters is a free program that comes with anybody who pays for the year up front. I just put that in there as an extra bonus.
Well, you got so many bonuses in this app. It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm not charging enough for it. When people say that to me, I'm like, well, that's not the point. The point is it's going to pay for itself for me to be able to go put it all out there and pay for all the production and all that kind of thing. But I've got friends that I've gotten a chance to know since I started doing the generic stuff. When I started doing the books and I did a locker room training, I've got friends of mine now that are making over 500 grand a month that I met through some of my trainings that I'm watching their progress. And the success they're having is blowing my mind. And I love just being a little part of that.
Wow. Brian, thank you so much for being on this Facebook Live tonight. I mean, aren't you pumped out there, everyone? You still with us? We got a lot of people on this call tonight. Everyone was looking forward to this call because we need so much help in this area. It's the old saying, it's not what you make, it's what you keep. And you're such I think you're the best example in the network marketing profession, as you did keep it and you used it responsibly. You didn't blow it like the majority do. I mean, I could say that with myself. I've been debt free. my house, I pay cash for it. I mean, I always had a fear of being indebted to somebody. But you went far beyond that, and the way you
and
invested.
what's interesting about that is, and I talk about this kind of thing in the money mindset. There's good debt. I'm sitting in a house right now that cost me almost $1.9 million, and I've got a $1.1 million mortgage on it. And people say to me, well, if you've made all the money you've made and you say that you've kept it like you say you did, then why did you take out a mortgage? And I said to them, well, if I can borrow money at 3.5%, and I can get 10% from investing the money,
right,
that delta of 6.5 million, 6.5% is profit if I just use somebody else's money to pay for this house. So at the end of the day, it's just my net worth is insane for somebody my age to have not only made the money but have done the right things with it. I can't take credit for that because part of it is my conditioning and programming from my upbringing. Part of it is because my mentor, Paul J. Meyer, who is a billionaire, who's the grandfather to the entire personal development industry. I mean, if you've ever heard of Paul J. Meyer, I spent time in his house in Waco, Texas, where he had his own personal development museum on his property. He owned the original manuscript for Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Really?
Paul Meyer's, his training programs, Paul's programs sold over $2 billion worth worldwide, his audio and books.
Wow.
I mean, he's a legend. And I had a chance to study under him as a friend. He bought me a Navigator when I hit the top position in my company, just because he wanted to reward me with an SUV. But, it's amazing. And here's a guy who's a billionaire who doesn't buy, he passed away now, but he didn't buy new cars. Now, I'm guilty. I buy new cars. He bought used cars when he was worth $1 billion. Crazy.
You're pretty tight, though.
I'm very tight. I spend money on my.
Me and Ray Higdon were talking about you recently. We were laughing about it. Ray says, "Oh yeah, Brian was going to go fly somewhere, and was it your wife or someone said something about the Wi-Fi, and you said, oh, that's too expensive."
I spend money on homes and cars. Everything else, when I see a bottle of water at the movie theater for $4, it pisses me off. When I see popcorn for $8, it pisses me off. When I see that I'm on a 1-hour flight and my son wants to get Wi-Fi for $8, I'm like, you can wait an hour. But I'm loosening up a little bit. I'm listening. I'm never going to spend all the money I got. But here's the thing: I give a lot of money away to things that are important to me. And for me, what would that $8 do for a less fortunate kid versus my son having Wi-Fi for that hour? So for me, Paul Meyer gave away $450 million of charity while he was alive. He did a lot of good for a lot of people, and his estate still gives so much money away. I agree with his philosophies. I want to do a lot of really good things with my money before I'm gone, and that's why I'm. People might say I'm tight, but it's for good reason. And so
right, sure, and and so you have such a young family now too, and you have good health, and you've got everything in place, so you should enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
I love it. I mean, I really respect what you've done.
I appreciate it. It's great to be on here with you. I've got a lot of respect for you, and obviously everybody that's on here following you, they already know how awesome you are, because you're not a flashy kind of a guy. You're not an ego-driven guy. You only build the team that you have to the point that you have as long as you have, because time always exposes or promotes everybody. You're a good guy, which is why your team continues to thrive. And there's a lot of people out there, they sound good. They look good, they smell good for a minute, but eventually people find out that maybe they weren't the right person. So it's good to be a friend.
Thank you, Brian. I really value our friendship. And so you're going to be at ANMP, right?
Yep.
So I'm going to see you very soon, because I'm going to be out there. So I really look forward to it. Everyone, Brian Carruthers, the man, and Money Mindset, man, get that book and get that app. It's awesome. And I put the link in the comments, so look for it if you forgot.
Hey, real quick, Jeff, anybody who gets the app, in the app, you'll see under the business tab, there's a $200 deductor tax program they get for free. I paid for the licensing to put it in there for free. And there's a place where you can go buy my books. The books are 30% off, and any trainings are 50% off. So instead of paying full price for the Money Mindset or Building Empire,
okay, good.
Get the app first and then buy it through the app, and you're going to get all these discounts.
Wow. Now he's saving us money. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for getting on this call.
You got it, man. Talk to you soon.
Okay, we'll do it again. And thank you so much. This was very helpful.
Glad to hear it.
you know, because this has been on my mind lately for some time. I've been thinking, you got to get Brian on because I wanted to talk about this subject. And I said, yeah, you could talk about this subject on your own, but no, you need to get Brian on this call because there's a lot of networkers that need help with what they're doing with their money. I mean,
hey Jeff, let me ask you, because I'm going to come back and look at this later tonight. I want to show it to my wife before I go to bed so I can just, you know, see if she'll be a little bit more proud of me. Maybe I can use this for that. But if anybody who's watching right now, would you just comment below money mindset if you have the book already and read it? Or if not, just say getting money mindset. So that means you're going to go, you know, I don't care if you get it now or get it soon, but just go get the mindset. Go get that money mind. It is going to change the way you look at life, your business, what you're doing. I mean, it's just going to give you a whole different, you're going to wake up a different person after you read that book, because everything that you do with money from that point forward, you're going to know that you're on maybe a different or a better track than maybe you were on before. Maybe you didn't see that there was any light at the end of the tunnel before. Now that you know there is light and you are on a path that's going to get you where you're wanting to go, you're going to feel so much more empowered. So just type that below. I'd love to know who got the book already, who's already read it, or you're getting it. I'd just love to be able to see, you know, who the audience is.
And it's a quick read too. It's not I don't know how many pages.
It's thin. It's this little guy. It's 90 some pages.
And I'm a slow reader. And I got through that book before I got home on a plane. But it really changed my whole mindset of how I looked at money. Thank you, Brian. I really appreciate it. And give my love to your family, your wife. And I'll see you in Texas.
Awesome. Have a great night.
Everyone, thank you so much for getting on this Facebook Live. And I will see you tomorrow night. And for those of you that are, and I'm so glad everybody made this call. I hope you really got value out of Brian tonight. I just really wanted to, I met Brian 3 years ago and I was really impressed. And like I said, I never met a networker who was so freaking disciplined. I was not. So disciplined with what they did with their network marketing earnings. And Brian was always investing. You know, he invested when Apple went low, and when they came back up, then he made millions. And Under Armour, I mean, solid companies. And what I liked about that, and also how we taught that, you know, if you make $600 and you're a young family, how you can be a millionaire with your network marketing earnings. You don't have to make $1 million in network marketing to become a millionaire, but you can use just $600 if you're a young family, and if you're more middle-aged, then fine, double it. It's not that hard to make $1,200, and if you consistently invest it and then leave it alone, then, you know, because a lot of people want to get people out of their jobs. Oh, you quit your job and all that, go in network marketing full time, and then they got it. You know, some people like the work that they do. They enjoy their jobs and all that. So I don't like to change people or tell people what they need to do. I like to just give them options, and I think Brian gives some really great options on, yeah, sure, it's great if you can go full time, but in the meantime, this is what you can do. You can start wealth building. You can start investing with your network marketing earnings, and you can be so proud as you watch it grow over the years. It's a different mindset, that is for sure. So I'm glad so many of you got on tonight, and I appreciate it. Hey, Emilio, what's up, my brother? I'm glad that you were able to get on and join us on this special call tonight. And thank you, Brian Carruthers, again, for, you know, getting on this call. And again, you can get that app, go to that link that I posted. And Brian, maybe you could post it again if you would. I would appreciate that. Everyone, wherever you are in North, South America, have a good night and love your family. And those of you in Asia, your day's just beginning. So do it. I mean, put 100% into your business and have the right mindset when it comes to your money and what you do with it. Thanks so much for all of you getting on this Facebook Live. I'll see you tomorrow night. Take care.